Hello and welcome to the Fishing Guide Podcast. Mitch said we needed to name this the Porch Edition.
Porch time.
And,
Porch time in the Ozarks.
We are here with Mitch Glenn, the owner of PICO Lures. Man, he has some other jobs, but he's also a farmer.
Yeah.
And
old Dumpling's doing his job this morning.
So if you happen to hear a chicken, it's not fake. It's a real one. Yeah. So we're gonna do some crowing. Yeah. You know, it's spring. Everyone loves springtime fishing, and so you have so many products that catch fish for everything from walleye, crappie, bass. I mean, you name it, game fish, it catches them. So why don't we just start with, let's just say someone's going out there crappie fishing. What should they throw?
Right now, you need a plastic and a hair jig. Between those two, on any given day, that's what's going to put your fish in a boat.
All right.
I'm going to start with the plastic first.
All right.
And probably put a little slab sauce on it because you got a kind of a lagarthic fish, ever you say that, slow moving, like me, So them fish, the sun's coming out, the water's turned the corner, the day length, the most important thing to the cycle in fishing, the day length is getting longer by 2 and 3 minutes a day right now, which triggers the fish. So every year in March, I post these pictures of all these big crappie that I catch, and I tell everybody I'm catching them in 6 or 7 foot of water. Nobody believes me.
Right.
But in 3 weeks, I'm going to go start doing it again. The water may be 48, maybe 58. It doesn't matter anymore. The top of the water is the warmest part of the lake. Right. And when I'm outside, it might feel all right out here at 50, but if I walk inside and there's a fire in my fireplace, that's the first place I'm going to go is back up to that fireplace. Fish do the same thing. If there's a log laying there, it's darker colored, it's warmer than the water when the sun's beating on it. And them crappie, they just back up there and snuggle up against that little warm spot, and they just wait on something to come by to eat. And that needs to be your jig. All
right. So so the jig, tell me what typically might be your setup. Ice coat jig head?
I'm going to put, my go-to right now is going to be a 16th ounce scope eye jig head, depending on the water color. I mean, it could be any variety of colors. And I'm going to probably start off with a pointer shad, or a tube.
All right.
Okay. Both of those baits, if I think if I feel like they're short striking the pointer shad, I'll go to a tube. If they're hitting that pointer shad fine, that's okay. If they're on a pointer shad early in the morning and get off of it for some reason, then I'm going to probably try a hair jig.
Okay. And a hair jig you're talking about?
I'm talking about a marabou.
Oh, a marabou.
Yeah, like a marabou. Right. It's going to have that steady action. Now, a lot of times these fish will come up and they'll get underneath black boat docks and stuff, the black plastic on them boat docks, and they'll get right underneath them, just barely in the sun. And you'll put a bobber on about 4 foot deep.
Right.
And even though you might be able to see 6 or 7 foot deep, and you put that bobber on, and when you fling those baits out there, you just kind of doing a steady twitch, almost a czar spook or a retrieve down the side of that boat dock.
I gotcha.
And a lot of times you'll actually see a flash down in the water where the fish will come up from underneath that boat dock and come up there and get it.
Yeah, so
it don't get much more fun than that.
No, that's pretty good fishing. And so let's kind of move on to bass. How about bass fishing this time? This is going to come out in just a week from now, so we're talking last part of February, first part of March.
It's square bill season, brother.
Square bill.
And bass are doing the same thing. They're coming up. They're shallow. They're warming their backsides up. They're getting ready to start the spawning cycle, and they're going to be roaming for food.
So PICO has 6 square bills?
15, right? I believe.
Oh, 15.
We got 15 square bills.
What color would you, if you had to just dig out 2? I'll let you have 2. If you had to dig out 2, would you go with the old school fire tagger?
No, I'm probably going to, this time of year right now, I'm going to use a red craw. And then I'm probably going to use either a white splatter or a sexy shad color.
Oh, all right.
I've got my shad and my crawdad covered right there. If I only got to pick 2,
There you go. Yeah, you only get 2.
I only get 2. Dadgummit, man. I got 16 rods and 15 lures, you know. So.
You have plenty. Yeah, that's for sure. Is there areas of the lake that you're kind of looking for bass to be in? Transition banks?
A primary pattern on that's going to be where chunk rock turns into pea gravel, and the first point going into a pocket is always a good spot to look. And late in the day, the later in the day, the better right now because the water's warmed up.
Right.
I want to find some place on the north side of the lake where the south wind blows warmer water in. Right. And late in the day, you'll be able to follow where the fish are just by watching the surface of the water. If you see shad flickering in the back, you ought to pay attention to that.
Right.
That's when it's time to go. I mean, the fish, bass go on and off and on and on. They get hungry, they go in the back of a cove feed, and they come back out to that first point. They get hungry, and they go back cove feed, and they come back out there. You can stop and we've got some fantastic shaky heads and stuff. You can rig up a cream worm and check out that, or a cream craw is probably what I'd put on. Check out that first point going in there, take an INT crankbait, run over that,
right,
and then move to the back and burn it up with a square bill.
Yeah, something people probably maybe not know, but PICO has a line of jig heads, bass jig heads, don't they?
Yeah, we got some fantastic bass jig heads with a keeper on it that we designed.
Right.
It's got an easy start system on it where it's all you got to do is just punch the thing on there, twist it 3 times, and it's on there without tearing the jig up.
Right.
It stays good, and if it's not the color you want and you want to change colors, you can actually take it off of this keeper and put it back in the bag because it's not damaged.
Right. So that's good. Now, how about if you were strolling out there for walleye? I know that one year, boy, we torched them really good.
Yeah, we smoked them pretty good, didn't we?
And you did that for a couple of weeks, and that's actually coming up. The Game and Fish Commission, the fisheries biologist John Stein was on the show last week, and he actually talked about how they're moving up into Kings River. They're going to move up on Beaver, and then and then they're going to later they move up below the dam. So that's kind of how they move according to water temperatures. But tell them what we caught them on.
We caught them on a mud bug INT crankbait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were trying to catch bass.
Walleyes
just would not leave it alone. I still have that one. It has bite marks on it.
Yeah. We got some chewed up during all that.
Yeah.
And what they don't understand is we was catching like 24 to 28 inch walleye.
Yeah.
Casting.
Yeah, we weren't trolling.
Yeah, no trolling while we were casting. If you got too close to a stump, you'd catch a 2.5 pound Kentucky. We couldn't keep. We had to make sure we didn't throw around a stump, or those suckers would bite all the time. But
right, that's a big thing. Those walleyes coming up. I mean, it's spring. It's good. So, have you seen kind of a theme coming through with people making some? I mean, because you know what orders are coming through. Is there? Can you tell us what people are buying? This is kind of like getting the backside. Where
this
most
backside
people,
information. Yeah,
anglers don't like telling people what they're buying, or they'll go in the store and make sure no one's looking. But we're going to go to you, the source, and find out what they're buying.
I have noticed a lot of orders coming in. Some of them are almost identical, and it makes you think it's the same order. And you look, it's 2 different names, 2 different addresses. But you'll notice that a lot of these orders are coming in from lakes that have a whole lot of walleye in them, like Stockton and Norfolk, and I'm getting several orders from down around BB and down in there,
Right.
So, and it's bright colored baits. And while they do catch crappie on them on all these places too, I actually talked to a physical person last week that wanted to order some more of a bait and wanted to make sure I put the order in so nobody's seen it on his computer, which I don't understand the logic to that. But he was on Stockton. He'd been trying. It's 43-degree water up there. He's catching 2 pound plus crappie on it and can't keep the walleye off of it.
Right.
He's trolling it for crappie on purpose in 43-degree water because he catches giants on it. And he's limiting out every day on walleye doing it. So they're all running together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
James Calloway's a big believer in cold weather.
I fished with him 2 years ago.
Right.
There was ice floating by the boat from the lake thawing out. surface temp 36 degrees, we caught fish trolling crankbaits.
Yeah, trolling crankbaits.
Yep. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think he knows how to throw a jig. I don't think he can cast.
he does like his trolling.
Yeah, James, so. I know you can cast.
We'll make sure we tag them. But that was down Mississippi at Lake Washington, and so that's one of those reservoirs that's known for crappie fishing. But it's not in its peak right now. But at some time it'll recycle.
Every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, it'll come back because it's a real fertile.
Yeah, you got to remember, crappie are born 12 inches long in Mississippi.
Yeah, they sure are.
They only weigh 1.5 pounds when they're born, though. So
what else they buying besides crankbaits? Are they buying something else? You see,
they're buying a lot of Vanguard terminal tackle right now. Whole lot of people are getting back into spider rigging some with this.
Right.
A lot of people have figured out that. This live scope stuff's real good for one guy sitting in front of the boat.
Right.
But whoever's in there with him might as well be making sandwiches.
Right. Or eating them.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You got to wait on the guy running the live scope to get hungry before it gets be your turn to fish.
Right.
But you can also take and run that live scope. And there's umpteen dozen different ways that people are mounting them now on their own pole, or you can spin your live scope around and look side to side while you're on a steady track. But the cool thing with spider rigging in this cold water is that you're only going 0.1 or 0.2 miles an hour, and you're circling around a brush pile. Well, now you can scan all around. Now you got 8 rods out in the water, and it's like, all right, I don't have to cast. I just move this one over here in front of him, or he's moving over here. I'll grab this rod and catch him.
Yeah, and actually Lance Huey, who's one of the pro staffers for PICO, we've had a lot of, on our Facebook social media pages, we've actually had a lot of this stuff where he shows doing it, and he hand ties his own the whole rig comes from PICO Lures, so it's pretty.
We got the line, the weight, the hooks, the swivels.
Yep.
Everything you need. Yep.
Yeah, everything that you need inside there. I held up this fillet knife you were showing.
Yeah. Just got those in. Floating.
Yeah, floating.
They float.
Yep. So that's good.
So you can clean your fish in your boat that way. Just don't let the game warden catch you doing it.
That's right. They might get mad about that.
Anyway, it's got a belt clip on it.
Yep.
Clip it on your belt. Sucker sharp, too. Sorry. I'm not going to play with it too much.
Talk about cleaning fish. Just can't show all the finger falling off.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's I did that with an electric knife though, so those are safer.
Yeah, that's a good deal. The what else have you noticed in the fishing industry? Have you seen some stuff going out, going in? I
don't think the innovation in tackle is there as much as it was. We've probably got pretty much everything covered. It's more of a matter right now, like our scope eye jig head, that was adapted out of my own personal frustration of not being able to constantly keep up with my jig head.
Right.
I was always having to move my jig head to be able to find it. And with a flat-sided jig head now, if you've got it and you just want to go sideways with it, it'll always be going sideways, and you got this big round spot to hit. And so that I mean, it's not the world's greatest thing in the world. I mean, it's not. You still got to know how to set up a live scope, but it's way easier to see and a lot bigger spot on your screen.
Yeah, it's easy to see, and that actually that's a real hot thing. Your jig head.
Oh,
maybe we shouldn't talk about it. Poor old Mitch have to go and pour some more.
Yeah. Well, what I've also found out right now is that a whole lot of bass guys are rigging their umbrella rig. What do you call that?
Umbrella rig?
Yeah.
Alabama rig?
Alabama rig, yeah. They're rigging their Alabama rig with them 1/8 ounce scope eyes.
Yeah.
Because they've got an 1/8 ounce has a number 2 hook in it.
Right.
And it's a mustad sickle hook, which you can boat flip 4 or 5 pound bass with it, and you ain't going to hurt it. And but they're using the 1/8 and the 3/16. Hardly anybody out there makes a 3/16 ounce head. So the grub guys with all their little paddle tail grubs and stuff are taking 3/16 and 1/4 ounce heads and fishing those grubs in it because they put it down there. It shows up good on their live scope, but it also is just a downright good head.
Yeah, good head.
Yeah,
it has a little wire keeper to it.
Right. So it's got that wire keeper on it that holds the plastic on. and it looks good on a swim bait and performs good on a swim bait.
Yeah, that's the important things right there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. When people start looking around for PICO products, where can they actually find them?
Right now, all of our local bait and tackle stores around here have got them. Bella Vista,
Northwest Arkansas.
Northwest Arkansas, all through here. We've got pretty good coverage in Mississippi and Tennessee.
Right.
You know, splattering this stuff out as we go. I mean, we're getting some dealers in Oklahoma and Missouri and all around the local area here. If you're out there somewhere and you got a local dealer that don't carry it, have them call us. Call us direct.
Right.
Yep. We set up a new dealer in New York this week.
Oh, there you go.
You know,
they want it for the smallmouth.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what they want, jig heads.
Yeah, that order sitting on the table, and they're going to Pennsylvania next week. So, yeah. I mean,
and they can order online too.
Oh yeah, individuals can always order online.
Actually, to see all this Vanguard stuff, one of the easiest ways to find it is to go online and start looking, because what we didn't have was we didn't bring any of the line. You have line, you have monofilament now, and then you also have braided line.
Mono
too.
And braid, yep.
So.
And you can go on to PicoLures.com, and I just added it into the categories on the left-hand side. If you need fishing line, it's underlined. If you need fillet knives or fish cleaning, stuff that's in there. If you need sinkers, we're selling them little kits now, those little dial packs.
Yep.
Oh, those are going out the door. And the little box kits that have hooks, sinkers, and swivels in them. Those have been the things.
Yeah. So it's time for tackle time, but we've talked all about the stuff. So we're just going to talk about Mitch's cup.
Yeah.
So he's not trying to sell the cup, but
Crappie.com mug.
But Ed Moe sent that.
You could probably log on right there and get the cup, but it's not going to come in with coffee in it like mine's got.
So, Crappie.com, we're just going to give him a shout out for tackle time instead.
Yeah, for tackle time, you got merch. That's what everybody calls it. You got your merch.
Oh, okay.
You got to have merch. Yeah.
Right.
So you got cool merch. You got new calendars are out, coffee mugs, all the cool stuff. But what you really need to know about slap sauce. So you still got the original in the squirt bottle, and you got garlic in the squirt bottle. Now, if you're bass fishing, I hate to tell people that if you put that garlic on and there's a smallmouth in the area, you'll own him.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know. But now he's got a
one with the applicator.
Yeah, it's a pin. It's got a little pin clip on it. So you pop the top on it like a felt marker, give it just a little bit of pressure, and you can just wipe that stuff on there. You don't get it on you or the boat or anything else. And just stick it back in your pocket.
Yep.
If you're as old as me, that's great than having to bend over and pick up the bottle again.
It just doesn't get on everything. It's a quick. You just push down, it comes out, and it's controlled, so it's not just leaking everywhere. So that's what's
it's not
great about
dripping.
that.
Yep.
Well, Mitch, if they want to find out more about PICO Lures, where would they go?
Well, you're on this podcast. That's number one.
All right.
You can go on Facebook, Instagram, PicoLures.com. Go on there. We got everything you need.
That's everything.
Got anything on YouTube?
We got a few things on YouTube.
Yeah.
We've been slipping in some videos in there. We'll probably do one that you can look forward to is one we'll probably do with Lance and Mitch. Hopefully we can get them together and in the boat and having them give some tips and stuff. So that's the one thing we're kind of looking into trying to arrange. So
he's putting that off right now because he has to do so much editing when both of us are in a boat.
Someone's got to edit. Someone does it. Anyway, that's how it ends.
All right.
Make sure you keep your hooks sharp and your lures in the water.